Oh, hey there. Ashley again. Thanks so much for coming back to the channel. If it's your first time, welcome. Today I'm gonna go over all things bachelorette. My bachelorette weekend was February of actually this year, and it ended up being President's Weekend, and that worked out well because a lot of people had Mondays off. We arrived February 18th, that's a Friday, and we stayed Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We checked out Monday morning. So to begin, I was between wanting to go to Palm Springs, Scottsdale, or Vegas. And then we also were in a debate on if we wanted to do a conjoined bachelorette party weekend or if we wanted to be 100% separate. We also went back and forth between should it be on the exact same weekend, should it be on different weekends. Thankfully for us, we have our dog child and my mom was able to watch him. So we did decide to do a conjoined bachelorette weekend. Now the only deciding factor was where would we do it? Actually, that's not true because my husband for sure wanted to go to Vegas. My husband and I, we used to go to Vegas all the time when we were in dental school. Every break that we had, which was about 3 times a year, we would go to Vegas for a week, a whole week we would go to Vegas. We love Vegas. We went there so many times you would think that we were over it, but truthfully we weren't. But I was in a debate on if I wanted to go to Scottsdale, primarily because there's so many cute things in Scottsdale. We could have gotten a really cute Airbnb. I'm still all about Scottsdale, but for me and for my bachelorette weekend, I did decide on going to Vegas, which worked out perfectly because that's where my husband decided that he and his friends wanted to go. And so we were like, okay, if we're gonna do a conjoined bachelorette weekend, let's have some activities together, let's do some things separately. And it ended up working out really, really well. It was super fun. It gave all of our friends an opportunity to meet each other. So initially I ended up booking at the Cosmopolitan. They had a 2-bedroom suite, which I thought was perfect, super cute. There was only 2 queen beds and then 1 king bed and then a sofa. So the way that would have worked for the Cosmopolitan, my specific party had 12 people. So there was 12 people, and realistically, I didn't even debate on if sharing beds was gonna be an okay thing. I just assumed that it would be okay. And so if we were to have stayed at the Cosmopolitan in this 2-bedroom suite, it would have been 1 bedroom that had 2 queen beds, so that would fit 4 people. And then another bedroom that had a king bed that I thought may have been able to fit 3 people. And so that itself is still just 7. So then there's these 5 people, and it was like, should we buy another room that wasn't gonna be on the same floor? From what I remember, we weren't able to connect the 2-bedroom suite to another room, but we could have connected 2 rooms. And I just knew that I wanted everybody in the same, at least on the same floor, especially since it was going to be at a hotel. I didn't want it to seem so far apart, and I didn't want it to be so exclusive. I wanted to make sure that everybody felt like they could be everywhere, and I just wanted to be with everyone. Obviously, that's what you want. So I did end up booking the Cosmopolitan 2-bedroom suite and 2 other connecting run-of-the-house rooms that had the 2 queen beds. But even then, you know, for 3 months I sat on it and felt like it would just be cool if we could all be on the same floor at the least. My husband ended up booking at the Venetian. All of the rooms at the Venetian are suites, which is such a perk, I think, of staying there. I ended up canceling our Cosmo reservation and booking at the Venetian the exact same way my husband did, which was two queen bed suites connected to each other, and then 1 right across the hall because they weren't able to connect 3 suites together. So we ended up doing that. The boys also stayed at the Venetian, but they were 2 floors below us. So it still felt separate other than the planned events that we did together, which for me and for him, that's what we definitely wanted to do. We did arrive Friday morning. I ended up driving with my cousin in our truck, and my other friends met up with us here and drove in an SUV. Prior to leaving, we loaded the truck and we loaded the SUV with all of our luggage, but also with all of the goodie bags that I ended up making for everybody that was going to be at my bachelorette weekend. We ended up bringing coolers and all of these things, so we loaded that up. I absolutely 100% recommend putting your Venmo or your Cash App on your cars, especially if you're going to make this long drive. It was like 5 hours from my home in San Diego to Vegas. I ended up collecting quite a bit of money from a lot of the people that donated to my bachelorette drink fest. They were people from Instagram because my friends all reposted the picture of where to Venmo. I'm gonna insert the photo right here. You can see it was super cute. We got those washable chalk window car markers. Most of the money that I received did end up coming from people through Instagram, but I would say maybe like I got $300 from people on the freeway, and especially because we had 2 cars, we weren't even really next to each other, and so a lot of people were like, hey, from the car behind you, from the SUV, from the white Prius to your left, congratulations, have so much fun. So it was super fun. Obviously, it was a treat to get extra cash to be able to buy alcohol and buy drinks and buy snacks or whatever it is that we needed, but it was just a fun thing. So you should absolutely do that. When we arrived, all of my friends that were there, the ones that didn't fly in, because I did have some friends fly in from different parts of the country, which, wow, I feel so loved that they did that for me. I really do feel so blessed to have the friends that I have. The ones that were there early, they actually were the ones that decorated my room, blew up a bunch of balloons and banners and laid everything out and decorated it super cute. We didn't have to pay anyone to do that, though I do know there are services that you can pay. It might be better just to save some money to have your friends do it for you, but if you want to go all out and you find value in paying someone to do that because you don't want to worry about it or your friends don't want to worry about it, then absolutely I would recommend a service like that. So once everybody arrived, we did end up meeting and going up to the Venetian food court and eating. We all went our separate ways, got our food, and then came back and ate together. The Venetian food court had so many options, so it allowed people that were getting in late, people that were getting in early, just kind of allowed everybody the amount of time that they needed to settle in and get there and be able to eat anything that they wanted and not have to rush. First night, we ended up having a disco party in the suite because the theme was sequin night. So everybody wore a sequin outfit. I provided tribe headbands, so it said bride tribe, or I think actually it just said tribe, and mine said bride. It was super cute. We just listened to music, we got ready, we played some drinking games, we made TikToks. It was super fun. It was a great way to start the night. Thankfully, we stayed at the Venetian and we ended up reserving a room at the Karaoke, KAMU, K-A-M-U, karaoke suite. So that's where we ended up heading to, which truthfully was kind of a trek to get to, but it was still within the Venetian, so we didn't have to go very far. We didn't have to Uber, we didn't have to worry about transportation. We were able to just walk there. So the way that worked is we reserved a room for 2 hours. There was a set fee. Honestly, you think like, okay, at this minimum price, we're for sure gonna end up going over because there's so many of us. For us, that didn't end up happening. We were able to order more than enough food. Everybody was able to pick whatever they wanted, drinks, everything, and we barely made the minimum. At the end, we had so much leftover food. So if you do end up doing this, I actually almost recommend just having a light snack prior to going there and being prepared to eat there, just to make sure that you get the most bang for your buck. I did feel like we wasted a lot of food, which was kind of a bummer. We did take it home, but it did go bad. So, because the way the Venetian works is they have a mini fridge, but within the mini fridge is a bunch of bottles of alcohol and water and snacks like that that are weighted, so you actually can't even pull them out. So we weren't able to utilize that. That Saturday, the theme was to wear pink swim. So my friends all brought pink bathing suits, and I provided everyone with these super cute pink heart sunglasses, and I wore a white one. This was one of the events that we ended up sharing, one of the days that we ended up sharing with the guys for the conjoined bachelorette party. We did rent a cabana at the Circa hotel. We got a really big cabana that was able to, I believe, accommodate 24 people, and we had 22 people. The way that worked is I believe this is how most cabanas work on the Strip. You reserve the cabana with the minimum, and so you are able to order drinks and food to meet that minimum versus paying the fee of actually just having the cabana, which I thought was perfect because where were we gonna go with 22 people? I was a little bummed, I will say, because initially I wanted to get a cabana at the Venetian, but in February, there aren't many pools that are actually open, and the Venetian was one of them. Didn't have cabanas available during that time because of the weather, and so we looked it up, and one of the only places that was in Old Town Vegas, which was at the Circa hotel. We went to Stadium Swim, which is relatively new. It did have heated swimming pools and stuff like that. So that is where we ended up renting our cabana. We had the cabana technically reserved from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. I believe we arrived around 11 and stayed the whole time until 4. Food was good. It was super clean, super beautiful. People did get in the water. Overall, I 100% recommend going here. It was super fun. It was just really fun. I highly recommend going there. After leaving, we all went back to our hotels. Me and my friends, we ended up taking a little cat nap because obviously a whole day out in the sun it's a lot. We ended up having a reservation that I pre-booked with a preset menu at Hex, which was at the Paris Hotel. So we walked from the Venetian with the guys. We ended up meeting with them and we made it to our 7 p.m. reservation. It was preset, prepaid, so there was nothing to really worry about. We just arrived, ate, and we were able to then leave and go to Jewel nightclub. We ended up getting all of us on the guest list, especially when you have an even girl to guy ratio, or even obviously more girls to guys. You're able to get people into the club for free. We did reserve a table. If I could say what I would do if I would go back, I think I would have reserved a table, at least one. I think when you go to Vegas, especially when you have a huge girl group, you can absolutely find a promoter to get a table for you guys. So I think that would have been really good. And then ideally we would have gotten another table for the guys, but we didn't do that. It ended up being okay, but truthfully, everybody was really tired. Like a whole day at the pool and then taking this little teaser nap, walking to our reservation. We probably could have technically ended the night after the dinner reservation because everybody was really tired, but I did want to continue the night, and so everybody was a trooper and ended up at least getting to the club, but we did start losing some people. If I were to repeat this event, I would have taken that into account and probably just got a table so that those that wanted to go could go and those who didn't have to go, obviously. But overall, I had a lot of fun. So Sunday, we ended up waking up. The theme for that day was tribe shirts. We pre-ordered everybody these tribe shirts, and then my husband and his friends, they ordered these super cute shirts that had his picture on it. So it was like a picture of him, and then in the back it said Ben's bachelor party. I'll insert a photo here as well. It was really cute. So initially, we planned to eat brunch at the Wynn at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. super early, so we ended up eating at Circa, which is a super cute restaurant inside of the Venetian. We made a reservation. Absolutely make a reservation everywhere. I don't even think, unless you're going to a food court or something that's like fast food, I don't even really recommend when you have a big group like that to just try to walk in. It's not a good idea. We ended up at Circa. We made a reservation and I think we got sat at like 10 a.m., which was perfect. We took some photos. We were able to walk through the hotel, get there, eat, and then we met up with the guys at the front of the Venetian. That's where the party bus pickup was at 1 p.m. The way the party bus worked is we rented it for 2 hours. We were able to bring our own food and alcohol, which was good. It drove us up and down the strip and to the Las Vegas sign. We ended up getting to the Las Vegas sign, and then we got dropped off at Topgolf. We reserved 2 of the golfing suites, which accommodated, it might have accommodated 8 people each, but we had 12, so it was 6 and 6. And it works the same way. You reserve it and then you have your minimum. We again had trouble hitting our minimum. We just started ordering random things. We ended up taking water to go. It's always good to overestimate so that people aren't hungry or thirsty, and you make sure that you have enough for everyone, but maybe don't be like me and completely overdo it. I think I was trying to like act like it was Thanksgiving because I love food. The goal after the Topgolf reservation was to go to the Taco Bell Cantina, which is like a 2-story little Taco Bell club that had alcoholic plushies, and obviously Taco Bell, I love Taco Bell so much. But we got a little crazy. We weren't able to make it there. So from there, we ended up going back to the hotel. So after Circa, we ended up going back to the main suite. We ended up playing a lingerie party game. Everybody brought lingerie. So the way that we played it and the way it worked is everybody that came brought lingerie. They wrapped it. I didn't know who brought what. So whenever, when I opened it, I had to take a look at the lingerie and guess which of my friends bought it. So I think the purpose of the game was to buy something that represented their personality, and for the most part I think that was done, but I also think that they just bought me really cute things, so I loved it. I just was terrible at the game. There's 12 people and I probably got 2 right, so every time I got one wrong I took a shot, and then we ended up going and meeting up with the guys outside of the Venetian at the meet spot where the party bus picked us up. Wild. So I already started the day off lit and everybody just had to catch up. So we didn't make it to Taco Bell because everybody was honestly just lit. And so we went back to our hotel. Some people went to the food court, some people chilled in the room. Everybody was just chilling. That's kind of where it all ended. We didn't make any plans after that, primarily because some people ended up having to leave, get back on their flights and go back home. We all just ended up chilling. I think the thought was to have a movie night in the room, but that didn't work out, which was totally cool. Overall, I 100% recommend going to Vegas. Even if you've gone a million times, I know a lot of people believe Vegas is overrated. Personally, I thought it was the best place to have everything all in one versus having to go to so many different places. If I could go back and redo it, 100% I would go back to Vegas. My favorite thing was the cabana that was conjoined. I am so grateful that I ended up doing a conjoined bachelorette weekend with my husband. Like I said, it allowed everybody the opportunity to meet each other, get to know each other, and overall I believe it contributed to making our wedding day super fun because it was like a reunion. Well, that concludes my bachelorette weekend in Vegas itinerary. Hopefully you're inspired to go there. Hopefully you got some really cool, fun ideas. If you have any questions about any of the events that we did, feel free to comment below. Make sure you like the video, turn your bell notifications on so you know every time I upload a video, which will be every Monday. And please be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss anything. Thank you guys. I'll see you next week. That's what I did. Okay. All of our, that was my dog, sorry. Actually,